what we got for you tonight is we're going to do some traditional big, nice, thick burgers on the Weber Kettle. We got our chimney started here with our charcoal in it, and since we got the Blackstone Griddle, everybody's kind of fallen in love with the smashburgers. The kids love them, so we're going to do a couple smashburgers for them. The main reason we have the griddle out though is we want to really finish up with some sweet peppers and mushrooms, and we're going to finish those on the griddle. I love cooking vegetables on the griddle. It gives them a real great flavor, a nice finish, and we'll show you how we make all this come together. We got a couple different cheeses we're going to put on. We got pepper jack and provolone cheese, and should be a real good dinner. And stay tuned. We'll show you how we make it all happen. Alright, so we got our hot coals poured into our 2 trays, and now we're ready to get these burgers down. So I actually cook the burgers indirect. I don't put them right over the hot coals. The bottom will really get charred up on you before the top does, and then when you try to flip it, you're going to have a really hard time. The burger's going to want to fall apart. So I'll put them over here on indirect heat, away from the coals, and then we're going to cook them for about 5 minutes per side, and then we're going to come in here and flip them. And if you cook them with the lid on for about 5 minutes, you'll be able to come in and flip them, and you won't break them apart. When I'm doing burgers, I like to get my temperature pretty high, so we're going to open our top vent all the way up, and we're going to do the same with the bottom vent. Both vents wide open, and that's going to give us the maximum amount of heat that those coals are going to be able to generate. So we'll do these for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and flip them and see how they look. Alright, so we're 5 minutes in. We got our grill up to about 425. That's what it's reading on the lid, so down at the grate it's actually going to be much hotter. And let's see how these things look. Set the lid off to the side and keep it out of the way. Right. And now you can see they start to cook a little bit on top, so now we'll be able to flip them without them falling apart and breaking up on us. You notice you didn't see me season these burgers. That's because I prefer to season them, put the seasoning in the meat. So before I pat them out, I go in there and I add all my seasoning into the hamburger meat, and then mix it all together, and then pat the burgers out. So you get all the flavor throughout the entire burger and not just on the top. Now with the big thick burgers like this, I cook them 5 minutes on the first side, and then I flip them, and I cook them for 6 minutes after I flip them. So these burgers are about an inch thick. So we're going to go ahead and put the lid back on, and we'll come back and check on them in 6 minutes. When I'm about halfway to that point, I'm going to go ahead and get the Blackstone fired up so it can be heating up, and then we can get our smash burgers going because they don't take near as long as these big thick ones do on the grill. Alright, so now we're 6 minutes in after we flipped the burgers. Give us 11 minutes total cook time. Let's check them out. As you can see, they're starting to come together now. So we like our burgers to have a little bit of a char on top of them, and when you cook them indirect like this, they're not really going to. So now what we do is we take them and move them over the heat, almost like a reverse sear. So we're going to cook the burger, and then right before it's done, we're going to place it over the coals. And you can see those burgers are staying together really well for me. We're going to put it right over the coals and finish them over the hot coals to get that nice char on the outside. And don't be concerned if you get flare-ups during this step. That's perfectly natural. All the juices are kind of dropping down into the flames, but that's what's going to give you that nice char broil on the outside. So now you're going to have a burger that's going to have a nice char to the outside of it, but it's not going to be dried out and overcooked. on these thick burgers, I give them another about 2 minutes over the flame. But I flip them pretty regular so that we don't get one side really burnt. Alright, so now we're going to move these all the way away from the heat. We're going to leave the lid off of our grill. We're going to go over here to the Blackstone. If you notice, since we have it in direct heat, this side of the grill is just warm. This isn't hot over here. It's just going to keep the burgers nice and warm if you keep them way over here to the side. And then we'll get the Blackstone going. Alright, so now I moved over to the Blackstone. We're going to go ahead and do 4 smash burgers and some hot dogs, and then we'll get our vegetables going. So, something, if you watched our previous video where I did smash burgers at the campground, what I noticed was I was getting a lot of splatter from the grease. So I did a little bit of research and I kind of found something that I think is really going to help that. So we're going to take us a piece of wax paper, parchment paper. We're going to have that ready to go. We're going to ball up our meat. This has the same seasoning that our burgers had in it. You can catch the seasoning that we used in the description below the video. Going to get those hot. And now we're going to fold up our wax paper. We're going to set it over the top of the burger. And we're going to smash it. And not only is that going to keep all that grease from splattering up on you, it is also going to keep those juices in on the meat. So there we got one. Now we're going to do the same thing here. And it just kind of helps smash it out nice and even as well. It's a really neat technique. If you actually see the way these smash burger restaurants do theirs, this is how they do theirs in the restaurant, only they have an actual tool that they use to press the burger instead of 2 spatulas. But it really helps get a nice even burger. Now the key when you flip these, you want a spatula that has a good edge on it so that you can get all the char that you put on the bottom of that burger. If you scrape it up and you leave a layer, your layer of hamburger there on the griddle, then you're not getting all the flavor. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to pick this up on a nice angle. We're going to flip it. And there we go. Same thing here. The burgers are not going to take long to cook, especially smashing them out with the wax paper. I'm really glad I found that technique because it has really helped. Alright, so now we're waiting on giving our smash burgers just a minute to cook after flipping them. We're going to go ahead and add some cheese to these, and then we'll leave one without. Alright, these are done. When you cook them the right way, they only take about 2.5 to 3 minutes max to cook. And you'll see we have a nice char. We'll have a nice char on the bottom. But that is where all the flavor is going to be. They smell delicious. Now for all those hot dog lovers out there, we're going to put a couple of those on. Alright, the hot dogs have been on here for just a couple of minutes. Kind of moving them around, get them all browned on all sides. And now these are ready to come off. Now we're going to add a little bit of olive oil back to the grill. And now we're going to put all these on. So we've got a combination of mushrooms, we have some sweet peppers, and these should taste really, really good, either on top of the burgers or as a side. Alright, so now we're going to pull these peppers and mushrooms off. They're nice and cooked. Didn't do a whole lot of seasoning on these. Didn't really do anything other than just some simple salt and pepper. Didn't really want to drown out the flavor. We haven't really done the sweet peppers before, so I just kind of wanted to see what those were all about. And there you have it. That's really something for everyone right there. If you like hot dogs, we got you covered. If you like smash burgers, we got you covered. If you like a nice big thick cheeseburger, we got that covered too. And then we're going to have some really, really good peppers with mushrooms to either go on top of it or on the side. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to us. You can find us on Facebook at Joopy Outdoors. You can find us on Instagram at Joopy Outdoors. Thanks again.